at 8 o'clock. So we'll finish off just before 8. So good evening, everybody. My name is Theo Woldscott. I'll be your lecturer, sort of online tutor for this course. Can I just get a sense of sound? How's the sound? How's the sound? I know that earlier Cam mentioned that the sound was good. So if somebody can just give me a note. Resend the WhatsApp link. My module was only loaded on VC Learn today. I can certainly do that. I can even post a WhatsApp link here. I don't know whether you'll be able to join from the group chat. Invite group via link. Copy link. Paste link. There's a link for the WhatsApp if you guys want to join. If you have WhatsApp on your computers, you can join, and I will also resend that notification out to everybody. Great. So what is this course all about, and why are you guys doing it? So some of you might be second year online, some of you might be third year, but this course is essentially, it sort of all fits together for everybody that's BCom. You sort of do three levels of business management. And why do you do business management? Why do you think business management is important? Can anybody sort of just jump in and tell me, why do you think business management is part of the BCom course? Anybody? Maybe just one or two words. Why do you think business management is so important? Anyone? Maybe just one word or two words in the chat. Why do you think business management is so important? It feels that it's such an arbitrary course. It's like, I mean, accounting, you learn specific accounting terminology, you learn specific accounting. Yes, Jody, to a certain extent, it does show, and this particular course is designed in that way. It's designed to help you understand entrepreneurship as a concept, but also to take you through the process of ideation, creating, and then doing analysis of a market, identifying a segment, and then putting a structure in place or putting some sort of concept in place in which you can take forward. Andre, you were saying to learn how to manage a business and all the functions. Absolutely. So in first year, what you guys learned is all the basics around what is a business, the role of business in society. It's there to fulfill the needs of society. And then the functional areas, you learned all about marketing, you learned about finance, you learned about logistics and supply chain, you learned about strategy, you learned about human resource management, and then you also learned a little bit about general management, which is sort of takes care of the strategy of the business. Alan, yes, it does explain how business operates, but only to a certain extent. So what we try to do in business management is, it's almost like it's a foundational course. I think somebody said they are fundamentals. So it's a foundational course. It's a course that helps you better understand the other stuff that you're learning in your BCom degree. So without you knowing the things that you're learning in business management, helps you better understand things like accounting, things like economics. It helps you better understand things like supply chain, which some of you are going to do if you're doing business, general business management or strategic management as a stream. Some of you are going to be doing labor relations. So think of business management as that course that sort of sits in the background that helps you better understand how other courses and how other modules work, and deepen your understanding about it until you get to third year. So third year is all about strategy. And strategy is just a fancy word for plan. It's about to get from point A to point B. How do you get from one end to another end? And then that's what strategy is. So first year business management is all about just the basics. Second year business management is sort of two parts. The first part is entrepreneurship, which is an important element of business management. It's an important element of business because without entrepreneurship, you won't have a business. So think of it as the precursor to starting a business. You must have entrepreneurship. You must have this thing called entrepreneurship. You must have this thing called an idea, a concept. You must be creative or look at the market around it. So here's a need in society that I can fulfill with this idea, with this business. The second semester is a bit more formalized. So the second semester, we learn all about leadership. We learn all about motivation. We learn all about organizational structure. We learn all about knowledge management. We learn all about communication. We learn all about organizational change. We learn all about the history of management and how management came about, management practice, understanding management theory. We learn all about management in the fourth industrial revolution. So the second semester, you go deeper into understanding the different parts and the different elements of business management as a as a uh, as a as an area of study, if that makes sense. So as an area of study, there's got different parts to it. Just like you just don't get accounting, you get different types of accounting. You get management accounting, you get auditing, you get you get financial management, and all of it sort of is different parts of the same thing. And then the third year, you've got the basis of the two, and then suddenly you move into the strategy in your third year. So the three level sort of scaffold, we call it in education, they sort of bolt on one another. It's almost like the scaffolding that happens. Alan, I'm not sure. It all depends on how people progress and how the groups are formed. I generally do teach first semester, I've got two or three groups, and then the second semester, I've got two or three groups, and then in third year, I've got two or three groups, depending on how many students. But this is really what I've been teaching for the last 7 to 8 years, and I've been in industry, so I'm not an academic, so I've come into teaching and into lecturing through being in business, through being in a corporate, for being in corporates for 20 years, and then coming into teaching and finding almost coming home, almost finding my great love in teaching, and I really enjoy it. So I try to bring in a lot of my own personal experience. But obviously, I mean, after 8 years, your personal experience is, it's not it's a bit outdated. But I'm also, as part of what I do, I'm also involved in corporate training. So I design training interventions for corporates. And I make sure that I stay up to date with what's happening in the industry. My area that I know very well is retail. Because I was in the FMCG industry for so long. So retail I know very well. So manufacturing and retail, that's really the area. And you'll hear a lot of my examples will come from that area because that's what I normally keep up to date with. So that's really a bit about me. I am busy studying as well, just like you studying. I'm trying to complete my master's this year, and then hopefully next year register for my PhD and get that done over the next few years, and really pursue sort of this understanding. So the area that I'm really interested in is bridging that gap between management theory, the stuff that we're learning in undergrad, all the stuff in the textbooks, and management practice. So how do you go from learning the stuff in textbooks to doing the stuff in an organization, especially for adult learners, people like you that are studying part-time, that are working, and then how do we teach you better to, instead of just learning stuff in textbooks, how do we teach you in a way that you can take stuff that you're learning into a workplace and start practicing it. So that's really my area that I'm doing research into, understand how do we deliver management training and management education in a way that's a bit more practical, that's a lot more practice based rather than theoretical. That's it at the moment. So that's really my interest, if that if that gets you excited. So thank you very much to everybody that has signed on. So that's a bit of an introduction to me. I've been doing sort of online tutoring for the last 6 years. As I've started way back when we just started, and my expectations from you is most probably, and that's why I don't teach first years, because the first years don't like me very much. They complain bitterly about me, because I believe that you're all grown up. You're all grown up. You have families. You have responsibilities in your job, and you're self-directed. So I'm not going to spoon feed you. I'm not going to paddle your backside when you don't do stuff. You're grown up. you can make your own decisions. If you decide not to do a task, there's a good reason why you've decided not to do it. It's either because something personal has happened or there's some other responsibilities that has come in the way. And I don't judge you for that. It's about making decisions, and decisions have consequences. What I'm not going to stand for is if you don't do the work, or if you blame me or try to hold me accountable for your success in this course. It's almost like Theo didn't give me this, and therefore I didn't pass the course. You've signed up for a part-time course that's done online, and we're here to support you. I'm here to support you. I'm your greatest cheerleader. I'm here to support you. I'm here to provide you with all of the tools and all of the resources to ace this course. And this is one of those modules where you can actually do quite well in. This is one of the few modules like project management. This is one of them we can actually do. You can get a distinction in it quite easily. Not because it's difficult. It's quite a bit of work. But if you just do the things that you have to do, then you can do well. But you have to do the work. You can't, it won't just fall into your lap. This is a course that has a POE. So it's got 3 submissions and then a POE, which is a business plan. And you can do quite well in it. So let me talk a bit about the POE, because the POE really is the course. So make sure that you've downloaded the POE. So can I have just a, let me just POE downloaded. I'm gonna just leave it as a question. So here's a poll. Yes, for I have downloaded the POE, and no, I haven't downloaded the POE yet. Okay. Can you please explain a little what Spectrum was with the first iStars? I only saw it a few minutes ago and it's due on Thursday. Okay. Thank you for that, Alan. I will certainly do that. Okay. So for some of you that have just gotten access, actually for all of you, I am going to send a note out to the entire class. We'll only, the iStask is only, I'm going to shift the iStask a week out. I did post that on, I did say, no problem, I moved iStars out by a week. So I did post that earlier in response to Andre's question. So it will be out by a week. And Alan, further to your question, the iStask is really simple. There's a link in the iStask. You click on a link, it takes you to a quiz. It has a couple of questions. And you really, what I'm looking for is you sitting back, reflecting, and asking yourself the question, am I an entrepreneur or am I not? All of you are fairly, you're mature. Some of you might be more mature than others, you know, so you will know in your gut. Some of you have always wanted to start up your own business, but there's just something holding you back. Some of you know for a fact they're not entrepreneurs. You're gonna work for a pension, and that's what you're going to do for various reasons. And for some of you, it's like you're only working for the next 2 or 3 years, and you've got a side hustle, and you're going to be an entrepreneur. You just know it. So that is really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to reflect on your own experience and your own life up to this point, and where you think you're going, and just answer that questions. Am I an entrepreneur or am I not an entrepreneur? Is it something that I want to pursue? Or is it something that I know deep in my heart it's not going to happen? Make sense? Alan? The other guys, Andre, I see Andre has also joined us. Okay, no problem. So I will send out the notification for joining the chat group again, and I will also send out a notification regarding the iStask. And then I will be uploading a whole bunch of information. Okay, because I see there is some of you that have not downloaded the POE yet. So if you can, so what I will do is I will I will upload all of the module materials under more resources. So there'll be a little thing called module resources, and it will be there as well. Okay, just so that you guys have access to it. The entire course consists of this POE, the assessments. Now, I'm not going to even ask you, if you just hold on 1 second. I just need to grab my notebook because I made a note of when the due dates are. So please, I'm going to send this as part of the lesson plan as well. But just to give you a heads up, part 1, due 4th of the 4th. Part 2, due 5th of the 5th. Part 3, due 29 of the 5th. And the final POE, 15th of the 6th. All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, Cam. And I will also, okay, so so those are the 3 submissions, the 4 submissions. So what is this POE? I'm going to give you a breakdown of it in about 5 minutes. So the POE is essentially a business plan. The entire POE is a business plan consisting of 4 parts. The first part of the business plan is looking at these areas, economic infrastructure, improving education, promoting health, building a safer community, of the National Development Plan, and saying, where out of these areas, where's the opportunities that I can start up a business that will help me build a safer community, or promote health, or improve educational outcomes, or improve economic infrastructure. So economic infrastructure is a wide thing. So all of these 4 themes are exceptionally wide. Now you can literally open up a coffee shop and you can say that it provides training and innovation opportunities for unemployed youth. So you can literally do anything. You can start an app that shares healthcare information and opening times and closing times of the local clinic, and that can be promoting health. So you can see that these themes are exactly that. They're sort of big, broad themes. And I don't want you to be too constrained by them. So you've got these themes and you can work within them, but I don't want you to be constrained. What I really want you to do is, if you have already a side hustle, if you already have a business or you were part of a business before, I want you to use that. I want you to use that opportunity or that concept or that business as for this POE. Okay. So the first POE consists, or the first part consists of a couple of questions that's meant to be what we call the ideation phase. So this is the part where you're generating ideas and you're generating different business concepts and ideas to solve a particular problem. Okay. Jody, you've got a quick question. Sorry, is the session being recorded for specifically for the breakdown? Yeah, absolutely. Yep, all my sessions are recorded, and I will share the recording link as soon as it's available later this evening. All right, and I normally also post it on a WhatsApp group as well for those that want to listen to it quickly. But I do have load shedding at 8 o'clock, so I just got about 5 minutes or so, and then I want to open up for some questions. So part 1 is just ideation. Part 1 is, just a couple of questions, and it's about ideation. You'll see that part 1, part 2, part 3, they're not very long. Part 2 is not very long. It is 30 marks. But don't get hung up about the marks. It's about the content that I'm interested in. Part 2 is about, okay, so if part 1 is about the idea, Part two is about how do you concretize? How do you make that idea a reality? And as part of part two, the big part of part two is looking at the stuff in the macro environment. Can you still remember what the macro environment is? The first letter is a P, and the last one is a L. What are those macro factors? Anybody want to fill in the rest? There we go. Oh, Topolelo, you spoiled that, man. You just have said there's an E and there's an S. So it's the pestle factors, which stands for one at a time. Political. Thanks, Jody. Another one. Economical. Yes. So it's political, economical, social, technological. Yes. Yes. The other E. Legislation. Yes. Environmental. Awesome. So part two is about making and understanding what this idea is, how you're going to bring this idea to market, and the environment in which you're going to bring this idea to market. So that's part two. Part three goes into a bit more detail about the actual business that you're going to establish. So part one is the idea. Part two is about bringing it to market. Part three is about the actual business. What are some of the ethical stuff that you're going to have to face? What about some of the values that's in your business? What are some of the functional areas in your business? So how are you going to structure your business? What are the functional areas? The functional areas are things like marketing. What is your marketing department going to do? What is your finance department going to do? Are you going to outsource your finance? Are you going to have a logistics part of your business? Or is that not necessary if you're doing an app, and so forth and so forth? Part one is about the idea. Part two is about bringing it to market and environment in which you're bringing it to market. Part three is about the actual business, how you're going to structure it. And then part four is the business plan. So part four is the business plan. Please, when you see this, just ignore this. I don't want to see this. So it is 3,000 words maximum. Please. I don't want to see 6,500, 7,000 word business plan. Nobody's going to read it. Nobody takes a 7,000 word business plan to a bank and said, give me money. All right. So 3,000 word maximum. And that's the business plan. And the business plan has a structure. You get given a structure. You said, there's a cover page. It should have a cover page. It should have an executive summary, a table of contents, a product description, a marketing plan. It should have a financial plan, and it should have a operational plan. It should have conclusion and a logo. You get marks for creativity. You get marks for substantiation, and you get marks for overall structure and use of resources, use of sources, and so forth. So your final POE is a business plan. And your business plan, it's almost like part one is the idea, part two is bringing it to market, part three is the structure of your business. And then you take all of that information and then you finally put it together into a business plan. And the business plan you present as your final submission. And along the way, you will have an opportunity to play around with ideas. I want you guys to really get into things like AI, to get things into things like robotics, green energy, those type of stuff. These things that are really topical, and I want you to play around. The idea might be a far-reaching and a almost quote unquote impossible idea, but I want you to play around with it. Get creative. I don't want you to, I'm gonna start a coffee shop. I want you to really just let your imagination run free. Find ideas, find things that you think might work, and then you put it through this process. At the end of it, as you start putting together your business plan, you might realize that, geez, this thing might actually work, you know. Or as you're putting your business plan together, you realize, this is not a great idea. This is not going to work very well. But that's also okay. I like it when at the end of a business plan, a person says, after having completed the business plan, I realized that this idea is actually a shit idea, which is great because you would never have known if you didn't go through the process of putting a business plan together. Um, you know. So, with a few moments to go, any questions? Anyone? Amy, Andre, Cameron, Jody, Cam, Alan, Lopalelo. Awesome. Is it Sejo Fatso? Sejo Fatso? Please tell me I'm telling you pronouncing your name wrong. Sejo Fatso. Sejo Fatso. Please help me out. Thanks, Lopalelo. Thanks, Alan. Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Sejo. Sejo. Alrighty, guys. It's about to be lights out my side. Over the next week, I'll be bombarding you with emails. You'll be getting lots of information. Please stay close to me on the WhatsApp group if there's anything that you don't understand, any stuff that you're not getting. So what I normally do is I'll send you an email, which is the first formal official information. And then I would normally post on the WhatsApp group. I'll say, guys, I've just sent an email about this and this. Please go and check it out. So please, I try to use both. The WhatsApp group is really there for each other, for us to support each other and for you guys to support one another. And just to feel like you're in a class, like you're not all alone. And then I'm here to support you 100% of the way. Andre, it will be on VC Learn, so there will be a link under more resources, ICE tasks, and you click on it and you submit your document on there. Okay. Awesome. Guys, have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much for your engagement. Thank you very much for the chat. I see, Alan, there hasn't been any questions on the WhatsApp group. Am I correct, or did I miss anything? Okay, no, it doesn't look like I missed anything. Yeah, have a good evening, guys, and we will chat again. Our next session is about 2 weeks' time, but I will certainly make sure that you guys have all the info that you need. All righty, guys. Cheers. Have a good night. Awesome. Great stuff. Cheers. Bye.